I have.
Okay, wait till it's clear, Angus. So I think we're ready to go. I'll put everybody onto mute.
Okay,
Let's just go
right.
back to that. Okay, everybody should be on mute now. So Angus, I just need to give you speech again. So Angus, I think you should be live.
I am. I was joking there.
Oh, good. He's just trying to worry me.
Cause a heart attack. Well, thank you everybody for joining me. And this MK Tech Week is just pretty amazing, pretty good. So there's been some great speakers already, and hopefully I can add to that. And do we remember back in 2020 when all of this started? Blimey, 5 years ago, and we're still here. That's what it feels like. I don't know about you. I just want to talk about the 6 Ps of LinkedIn. And I'm going to go through quite quickly some of these, but the first one I'm going to talk about is kind of purpose and planning. The purpose of LinkedIn to me is it's a massive research database. It's a massive prospecting database. It's a massive positioning database. It's about branding. It's about who you are and what you do. And in 2020 BC, before Corona, people didn't really, I think that they didn't use it as well as they could. Now 2020 AD, after disease or after downturn, whichever way you want to look at it, I think we've got to look at this slightly differently. We've got to realize that LinkedIn is a tool that where you can handpick almost the people that you work with. You know, it is, you select the people that you want to be connected to. It's no longer, you know, sort of connecting by just spamming people. It's a question of finding the people that you want, and we're going to look at prospecting when we go through. It's no longer foghorn marketing. You know, hello, I'm out there selling. My yelling is way finished, way finished. And I think we forget how powerful it is. You know, there's 700 million nearly people on here, and most of them are within 10 minutes of you. Not really, but they could be, they should be, because this, you know, you can actually use this for local marketing, national marketing, or international marketing. And there's no barriers really. And on the free version, you can do as much on the free version as you can on well, not as much, but you can do quite a lot in terms of the searching and the planning and everything else that I'm going to be talking about. One of the first things I always say to people is get some numbers under your belt. So the planning side of it is, you know, have a base to start with. Okay, we've all got to know where we're starting, because as in good marketing, it's about measuring. If you can measure it, you can change it and you can influence it. So social selling index is always the good one to look at. Okay, have a look at what your social selling index is, and it's simple, linkedin.com sales/sales/SSI. And this gives you a figure, and it's broken down by these components, and you can then go through those components and you can work out, you know, where you're weakest. So engage with insights is something that I clearly need to do. This is a metric that, although it's designed to puff you into buying something like Sales Navigator, it's still free, it's still useful, and it's still something that you should be looking at. I also think that you should be looking at your dashboard. So having an idea of who's viewed your profile, who's viewed your last article, and how many search appearances you have also been in. And again, just to get an idea about what those basics are, okay? Because the bigger these figures, the more influence your profile is having. I think that's what we have to think about. That's what we have to think about. If nobody minds, I'm going to take my video off, because you don't want to be looking at me just chatting. So if I put my picture up there, I can then wibble away without thinking, oh, what do I look like? Can I have a biscuit, Karen, please? Anyway, so part of that planning and part of the purpose thing is to see what it is you want to do. Let's actually think about some KPIs that you can, you know, sort of have, and they're not, and a KPI is not keep plodding indefinitely. It's having a plan. It's, you know, thinking, what is it that I want to get out of this? Do I want to get more connections of value? Do I want to sort of grow my business? Is it about growing my business for 99% of it? Yes, it is. Or is it about just becoming more influential? If that's your goal, then fine. But again, stick to the things that you need to be thinking about. So, think about who is your target market, all these basic marketing things that everyone's talking about right now. But I'm going to come on to positioning in a minute, but the point of this is that, once you have a base plan, then you can work around that and do something with it. And an awful lot of what goes on is in the background. So think about your settings. Do think about your settings. And in particular, think about your public profile and your personal URL. Your personal URL, in my opinion, should be clean. It should be your name and not Angus Grady LinkedIn Unlocker, because for SEO purposes, I don't think that works anymore. I think it's important to make sure that you have a clean URL. Your public profile is as rich now as your online profile. So you get two profiles. You get the one that people see when they're not logged into LinkedIn, and you get which is like your public profile, and you get your LinkedIn one. So go into your go into those settings and set it to public, because it means that people, as it says here, Google, Bing, search engines can find you. Really important. And tick the things that you want people to see. And again, I think that we forget that we're kind of in the attention economy now. We seriously are in the attention economy. And I think we have to think of it like that. I think we have to gently get people's attention. And I think for a lot of people aren't thinking along those lines. This is about GDPR, and I bang on about this all the time. And for me, GDPR is growing deeper personal relationships. And it's also getting dependable prospects regularly. And that isn't tranching and throwing out your profile to everybody. It is about thinking about what it is that you do and what it is that you deliver. So make sure you've got some basic KPIs in place. There are some metrics. You can look at things like Shield, which kind of sort of charts your metrics. All those things are really important and very easy to get hold of. Shield actually costs something, but again, that actually looks at the metrics of your posts. I personally think that you don't need that. I personally think that if you're savvy and you've got your finger on your own pulse here, then there's no need to do that. Anyway, let's just have a quick look at positioning. Okay, now your profile is a profile for the clear, simple reason that no other social media platform allows you to have a profile which people read. The point is that you want people to read this. When you go onto Instagram, rarely do you see people, sort of saying, oh, I wonder what that profile looks like. No, this is a profile that is a positioning document. Okay, this is all about how you position yourself and how you let the world know what you are doing. Now, 90% of people will just blandly write something. They won't think about what it says up here in their banner. Okay, they won't think whether that's a clear message or not. Most people have not changed their LinkedIn profile to fit the current situation. Now, LinkedIn, like Google, is a landing page that gets found by keywords as part of what you're doing. Okay, so those keywords are important. And if you are telling somebody or giving out a message that is probably vague and not to the point, then again, you're not really going to get anywhere. And the starting point for this, given the fact that keywords, as I said, drive Google, keywords drive here, come down to your skills. Have a look at your skills. And I bet you any money that your skills are not congruent with what you do. So many people's profiles I see on LinkedIn Surgeries where they've got management guru or something, which is nothing to do with what they do. Okay, you can invent a skill, and this is the joy of LinkedIn. You can invent a skill. So I've invented LinkedIn Unlocker. Okay, why? Because there are millions of LinkedIn trainers, and as much as I respect and love every one of you out there, he says tongue in cheek, that basically, I don't want to be a LinkedIn trainer. I've developed what I'm calling my category of one. And this is what your positioning is all about. Essentially, 2020 is about brand you, even more so now than what it ever has been. Okay, people will buy into you long before they buy from you. Okay, so you've got to build that GDPR, growing deeper personal relationships. Why is this important? Because this is about social solving, not about social selling. Okay, social selling is great. I understand it. I watched a great seminar on here this morning, and it was all about social selling. Fantastic. But social solving, in my opinion, is the crux of everything. Why? Because if I solve your problem, I don't have to sell to you. You buy from me. So you're already invested in what the solution is that I'm offering. Okay. And this is what I'm trying to get over in the positioning side of this, the second P, positioning. When you look at your section up here, the dear old about section, which used to be called the summary section. So this is really corny and crass, okay? But I think that about really stands for you should be addressing business owners' unmentioned triggers. Okay, what are their hot buttons? What is it that drives them up the wall? What is it that keeps them awake at night? And again, it's some simple stuff. And you should be asking, what problem are they solving? So it's your why. Simon Sinek wrote a great book, and I've nicked the why. So for me, the why is simple. The W is, what problem do you solve? Who do you solve it for? Where are they in their customer journey? What do people say about you? The H is about hot buttons. What are their problems? Okay, what actually keeps them awake at night? How do you help them? What's your history? What gives you the right to be able to actually answer their questions and to actually, expect them to become a client of yours? And the why is simple cheesy stuff. It's utility. Okay, your utility. What is it about Karen, Mark, or David, or James, or Tim, or Lee Rickler, who's on here? What is it about you and you alone that gives you, that working with you gives you that kind of, most compelling reason to actually use you? Okay, and it's about yield. It's about, what is it that people get from working with you that they won't get from anywhere else? And there's a wonderful book called Becoming a Category of One by Joe Calloway. And it's a cracking book because it talks through, it just talks through how to become that category of one. And that's exactly what you want to be doing here in this positioning area. You want to be talking about, in your about section, you want to be asking questions. This is a filter system as well, okay? So you want to get rid of the people that you don't want to work with straight away. You want to disqualify as many people as possible. And again, one of the things I keep saying is that this is about magnetizing your profile. So you attract the best and you repel the rest. Okay, so you want to make sure that the right people are reading your profile. And if they're the right people, by what you say in your profile, okay, they think, actually, this person is of value. I do want to connect with them, and I do want to actually have that conversation. And for me, the whole process is a simple one. It is curiosity, create curiosity that people want to then carry on, sort of reading. Curiosity to connection, to conversation, to customer. I don't advocate playing LinkedIn kiss chase. Life is too short. So I'm not going to like your article and comment on it for weeks on end. I'm gonna not jump in with a sell straight away, but I'm gonna, and I'll show you how I do that in a second. I actually want to personalize how I connect with you, so we're on the same wavelength almost straight away. So we get each other and we get on a phone call. In the good old days back in 2020, when people were allowed to meet, how time flies. Boris's child is now 18 and at university, so essentially I want to kind of speed that process up, where I'm actually getting to the point where, what do you want what I do, but not actually being that direct. But because I've asked the questions in the profile here, and again, most people aren't even acknowledging that we're in this situation. So, I've kind of rewritten my profile. This is not set and forget. You don't come into here and say, okay, I'm going to put a profile up and it's going to stay the same forever. I am reading some marketing profiles from marketeers whose profile hasn't changed in years. Well, tell people what it is that you do and acknowledge the fact that we're in this, sort of situation. And I'd be daft not to acknowledge that this is an uncertain time for people. Pivot free zone, acknowledge you can't do everything, but I can do some things. Make sure that your profile asks the question, is this you? Really not sure what to do with your LinkedIn in this current situation. Have thousands of pounds that you want to give away. Do I say that? No, I should do. But essentially, you've actually got a profile that should be talking to and with people and not at. Okay. So have something in there again that also gives a bit of credibility for what you do. Give them a next steps, clear call to action. I've included this audio track. Now, previously, links on your profile here were live on an Android, and I'm hoping that might come back at some point, but I doubt it. But still, if you put that link into Google, then it would be me talking to you. Well, not directly to you by name, but I would actually, so it's me actually telling my story. So essentially, you've read my content, you've probably seen a video or two, and you're probably thinking, okay, I'd really like to find out a bit more. So essentially, I put that in there, and it works a treat. It works a treat. People actually, sort of actually listen to it. And then there's a clear call to action as well. So, always happy to chat, blah, blah, blah. So make it easy for people. Make it easy for people to actually do business with you. And back up here as well, make sure that in your contact information, keywords as well, on your website, put in what you do. Write something, put your keywords in there that explains what you do. You're allowed 3 websites, use them. Okay, right, I'm rattling on. Your experience section as well, very, very quickly in here. When you post your URL into a group, most people think that it shows up, that it gives their headline. It does not. It defaults to this, which is your last position, your last job. Okay, so mine will have LinkedIn unlocking magnetizing profiles to attract the best leads and repel the rest. Okay, cheesy, but it says exactly what I do, and that shows up when you post that URL in there. Make your profile something that changes. Okay, it's not set and forget. You have to go in and you have to make sure that you are tinkering with it all the time. Why? Because again, Google likes change. Don't suddenly become, you are a landscape gardener one day and the following day you're a super duper pivoter. But if anyone wants any help on pivoting, I do have a pivoting for profit course at the end for $27.77. Don't worry, it's not going to happen. Prospecting, we all radiate our brand by accident. Whatever we do, whatever we say. So prospecting, if you've got the right profile, will attract incoming. Okay, you want incoming people coming to your profile, and there's some simple wins. Okay, I haven't talked about company pages, but I could go on all day about them. Company pages are as important as your profile page. Why? Because LinkedIn have invested a huge amount of money in them. Okay, they've made loads of changes. The same with groups as well. Groups are now becoming back into the fore. They're not brilliant. They're not brilliant at all. They're not brilliant at all, but they're still useful, because now in groups, talking about prospecting, okay, previously you could only message 15 people. Now you can message everybody. So if David Martin was somebody I wanted to connect with, but I couldn't actually get a connection request to him because he's a third line connection and he's in the Milton Keynes group, tech group, I'd join the Milton Keynes tech group. I would then be able to connect and talk to David before he's even a connection. Okay, and then what I'd be able to do is, then once we're connected, I could leave the group. It's a sneaky hack. It's a hack that used to be around 4 or 5 years ago, and thank goodness they brought it back, because then you can message more people in groups for free. This morning we talked about the person doing the training, Margot, was talking about the fact that there's alumni search. Well, when you go onto a company page, look at the people down the left-hand side. It's a rich source of intelligence on people. It is fantastic. It's wonderful. Okay, just zipping down. When you get to your experience section as well, you know, talk. You know, again, put your keywords in there. Put your keywords in there. Add your connection. Add your services as jobs, and then put keywords in there. It works a treat. Right, prospecting. If we come up here, the first easy thing is who's viewed your profile. I mean, on a free account, you own, and I could be wrong in this. I could be wrong. I think you only get the last 2 or 3 days. Now, all of these people have viewed my profile. Katrina, which I hope is on here now, who runs Business Buzz, fantastic, highly recommend. All of these are first line connections, and not much cop right now, but hi Ali, I know that you're on here. Sarah, not sure about Hans. These are all first line connections, apart from Andrew, who I know has connected with me and he sent me a message, but I'll talk about that in a minute. Because I'm conscious that we're racing through here. So prospecting is simple. Okay, look at who's viewed your profile, do an audit of who you've currently got. You know, you could do an audit, just a simple search. Okay, I'm going to apply filters and I'm going to go first line connections and I'm going to apply. Boom, 9,600 connections. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to save these offline. I'll go there and I'm going to drag it into a search folder there. Okay, create folders along your Chrome toolbar, because this comes with you. It's a portable library. Okay, what I'm also going to do is, if I was to look at, say, inverted commas, marketing director, boom, reply. Okay, and if I was to choose people, okay, we've got 391 results. Okay, it's, oh, go back, sorry Tim, go back. I could then filter these, but if I wanted to save this search, over here on the right hand side, we've got to create a search alert. You get 3 free searches. I think it might be 5 in some cases. I've only got 3. Somebody mentioned 5 the other day, and I don't know where that came from, but 3 is enough. So you create a search alert and boom, guess what? LinkedIn tells you by email when you've got somebody who's a managing director or owner. And this is Boolean. This is straightforward Boolean. But if you put something in inverted commas, then it's a verbatim search. Because most people on Google, for instance, when they do a search, cat, let's do cat, because we all like cat videos. Okay, tools. Okay, all results. Click on all results. You can go verbatim, which is an exact search. Nobody uses that, because the space, if I didn't have inverted commas on there, that would be marketing and. A space in Google is and. Okay, so when you put inverted commas around it, what you're doing is you are allowing, so you're making it sure that it's just one, okay, or rather just that exact word. But going back to So that's a very, very quick and dirty search. So it's marketing directors, and again, you can then save them, you can then keep them, and yeah, you can then go back to them. There's loads of tools that you could use. A lot of people worry about kind of Boolean search, but there's a great one called RecruitM, which is RecruitEM, RecruitM, and it's called a CSE, a custom search engine. Okay, so we've looked at prospecting, we've looked at positioning. Okay, one of the other ones I want to talk about is personalization. Okay, personalization is absolutely everything. Okay, I'm a big one for using video. Okay, and I sent a video earlier to David. And of course, this is now going to be where the internet decides to slow down. Okay, yeah, here it is. Right. So I'm using a desktop tool called Vidyard. Okay, this one up here. Vidyard is really good. Why? Because when I have, when I've got a connection request, I can reply to it with a video. I sent this to David. It comes up like this. Hello, David. Just want to say thank you for inviting me to be part of this Tech Fringe event and for doing. Right, we don't want to hear all of that because then I start crying and say, can I come on again next year? So essentially, personalization is everything. And personalization doesn't just, it is about your content as well, okay? It is about how you relate to your content. So, you know, just doing a lazy like or a lazy celebrate or a love or whatever else, never sure what the what like the last one is. You know, make sure that you do mention the person's name. Make sure that you actually talk to them. Make sure that you are adding value, because this is about amplifying your value, not broadcasting your benefits. Every time you post something, people should be going away, taking something away. Okay, but in terms of connecting strategies, okay, because this is where personalization comes in massively. So I've actually got some you know, sort of connection requests here. So what I do is I would always reply to everybody, even if they've not sent a message. Okay, so I go, if you go see all in the top right hand corner, you can then, oh, you should actually be able to message people. Oh, so yes, for some unknown reason, I can't message. There's no message coming up for Ellie. Oh, I know, because that's yeah, that's a request to go and like a page. But on personal requests, okay, every person will then come up with a message. So I could then say, Camille, thank you very much for your connection request. You know, here is a quick message. And then what I'd do is I'd go into Vidyard. I can't do this here because, unfortunately, because I'm on the camera here, I can't actually do that. So then I'd just go in, I'd record the message, Camille, thank you very much for your connection request. And absolutely delighted to, delighted to accept. The personalization comes into its own when you're not sure about somebody. So there's a chap down here, Alex Mihailovic, I can't even say his name. Basically, I've been talking to Alex for weeks. We're not actually connected yet, because I know he is, so he has this, you know, a business development at one lead. So I know that the minute I accept him, he's going to I'm going to be spammed off the planet. Okay, so I've already replied to him, and essentially we're probably talking more now that we're not connected than what we probably would have done when we are connected. Every now and again he'll ping me a message. I'm not going to show you. Every now and again he'll ping me a message and he'll say, you know, come on, we really need to talk. Yeah, I've got this great system. I see you're connected to. I saw your post today. Da-di-da-di-da. And again, I just want to keep him at arm's length. So these people I will reply to personally. If I were to go and actually want to, I'm trying to find somebody quickly.
Angus, you have to be reminded when you've done 30 minutes. So just
yeah.
heads
Yeah,
up.
I'm just going to go out for a coffee and come back and do another hour. So yeah, so basically I'm actually looking for somebody quickly who is a second line connection. Okay, so what I'd do is I would go in and I would just connect with them, send them a message, and also send them a video as well. So they get the video in there, and it's straight on the money. And you know, every single time they would then come back. And once once we're in that position where we're chatting, I would also use the audio function, which is on the phone. And I would also, and on the phone, don't forget that on your phone, you can actually send a video message on like your phone. One of the best things that they've brought out is the audio messaging, which is absolutely spot on. Absolutely spot on. The other P I was going to talk about was participation. Make sure that you do actually talk to people in your posts. You know, like the last thing you want to be doing is you know, just waffling on and just not actually, you know, sort of engaging with the people. The idea is that you engage with the people and that you know, that you actually talk to them. And the algorithm works in your favor if you comment on comments. That's always an easy way as well. Comment on comments, okay? So if somebody replies to what you've said, go back in and then comment on their comment, and not just, oh, what a great post. Oh, I think that were marvelous. Don't actually say something constructive. The other thing is that in this featured area, talking about prospecting, I've included my QR code in there, okay? So what you could do, if you wanted to connect with me and we're not connected currently, on your phone, in the search bar on your mobile phone, there's 4 little squares. One of those is a scan option, and you can put your phone over the QR code, and you and I will then be connected. Okay, so if you want to connect with me, I'm going to take that down in 5. I'm not. It is on my profile. Okay, so let's have a look at see who's commented this morning. No, all of them are first line connections. So participation means that you actually actively search for content, and you can do that up here. So Milton Keynes, boom, content, select content, no results found. Have I spelt that wrong? Yes, I have. My spelling is atrocious, which is why I quite like the audio side of it. Okay, content, a much loved charity in MK. You've got all these filters up here as well that you could use. Okay, that was a week ago, a day ago. You know, you can actually like that, comment on it, and again, because it's local and it's local to me, so you could put your town in there. There's a couple of other really useful hacks that you can do in terms of searching without having to really spend money. So that's, and also I think that the reality of this is that it is all about, I'm back, it is all about being patient and having persistence. Okay, you've got to be thinking about this as a marathon and not a sprint. This is about building your personal brand on LinkedIn with some easy, simple searches and some easy engagement plans. It's not difficult. It seriously isn't. And you can quickly improve your social selling index by all of that interaction and by, you know, I spend more than I should on here in terms of time, because it's basically my business. But essentially, you know, half an hour in the morning, half an hour in the evening, and split into 2 15-minute wedges. Check your notifications first thing. You know, what notifications have I got? Again, I'm getting tagged in a lot of stuff, which is damn annoying, really annoying, and I'm untagging myself. One other very, very quick tip, which was given to me by Jeff Young, who's on this call. And again, please do connect with Jeff Young. He's based over in America, but it feels like he's in your back, you know, he's in like the back garden because he's always on here. He's great. One of the things he was suggesting, and I think it's a great tip, is when you're writing your about section, make sure that you go Control F, okay, Control F, and you can put a keyword in. So then you can chart how many times that keyword comes up. Okay, going to be cheesy. LinkedIn, it comes up 65 times. It shows you where it is. So again, there's no reason why you shouldn't get this completely spot on and right. Go in and put in the word I and see how many times your profile, your about section says I. I don't care that you did this or that. The person who's reading it doesn't either. It is what you do, who you solve the problem for. And again, going back to those keywords, make sure that your headline tells me what it is that you do. So it is keywords, waffle keywords. Keywords as in LinkedIn unlocking what you do and who you, and how you make people feel, because that's what your personal brand is. It's not what you say and do, it's how you make people feel and what they say about you once you've left the room. If they have a good laugh about you when you've left the room, then you've lost it. Anyway, I'm going to stop there because I've gone on far too long, and once I start, I'll be there all day, and I'm happy to be here all day. If anyone wants, people... Go on. Yeah,
I was going to say, should we ask people to put questions in the chat?
Yeah.
If we can also then cover those, and I also allow people to unmute themselves and realise there's a lot of people on the call, so people may have noisy backgrounds. So let's use chat first, but obviously if people do need to speak, I have allowed you to unmute yourself now.
Okay, so ask away, anybody. I'm probably not going to see that chat, so David, if you could.
I can read it out. Yeah.
Yeah, hold on.
So first one in
53, blimey, yeah.
Yeah, there's lots of messages.
Oh my God.
First one was Lee Rickler wants to ask a question about SSI. So Lee, do you want to unmute yourself and ask the question?
Yeah, can I share my screen, because I want to show Angus what I've got, because he's seen my SSI before. Hey,
I have, yeah.
Between Fringe, I've shown you my SSI. Now show me yours. But I just want to show you mine, if that's
I haven't
okay.
blocked it at the moment, so you can do it.
Okay. Where are we?
Down here, share.
Where are we? There we go. Share screen. You cannot share screen. Right. Okay. Fine. Don't worry about it then. Ages ago, I sent a screen grab to Angus. Said 65 out of 100 was the SSI. 33, then 56 were the other two numbers. It's still 63. It's now gone down to 28.56.
Oh, okay.
Now. Go back a couple of months ago, I was probably once a day I was posting, maybe on LinkedIn, maybe a few comments, maybe. The last 2 months or so, I've been on there every day, all day long, posting stuff, talking, all the rest of it. SSI hasn't really changed at all. If anything, it's gone down.
Oh, well, I've actually noted that my SSI has fallen slightly. Mine was 89 last week, and now it's 85. So I don't know why that is. I think it might be a LinkedIn glitch, but if you're interacting more, then by definition, that social selling index, the answers, the clues in the name, it should really have gone up. Should really have gone up. I've no idea. I've no idea, Lee. If anybody else wants to track theirs, and we can all kind of track it and see what happens, then yeah.
Somebody just asked about the SSI. Sorry, and I'll post the link in the.
I'll have a.
Okay, Martin Bain's got a question on notifications.
Hello, Martin.
Thank you. Hi, hi everybody. Great session as always, Angus. You mentioned half an hour blocks each end of the day in 15 minutes. Whether it's urban myth or not, early engagement on comments helps. So if you're waiting, you said check your notifications. Is it not better to respond as soon as you get a notification in terms of organic growth?
I kind of meant by definition that check your notifications and respond to them. I don't check my network connections as often as I check my notifications. I am on it like a Dalek on a dustbin. So if I'm mentioned, I'm on it. Okay, and again, I've got to get my other catchphrase in. I'm not the best, and I know that there are some people out there. They are to social media what King Herod was to babysitting. I may not be the best at LinkedIn, but I'm certainly in the top one.
Yes, Brian Clough.
Yeah, I know. I love it. But essentially, if I just want to say that if anyone wants to message me afterwards, then we could. I'm happy to have chats with people. Mandy Allen. Hello. Okay. So, any other questions?
Yeah, they're streaming in here, Angus. So we got
sorry.
From Mike Boss on personalising your URL. What if your name is already taken?
Again, you've got to take a view on that. And again, I think that probably Lee Rickler might have a view on this, and Mark Orr might, and Jeff Young might. I always say that keep it as simple as possible. If you've got to add your company name as a last resort, then do that. But, you know, I'd actually try and keep it as tight as possible. Even if you've got a middle name, you know, Angus, Joshua, Grady. Oh, damn, I should never have said that. But it's not. You know, if there's a way around it to still keep it you, then try and keep it you. I mean, it's
one of the issues, Angus, can be when people are called Dave rather than David. And I think Dave Thorne can talk about that, because you won't get searched that easily as Dave.
No, and if you're John Smith, you're buggered. You know, end of.
But you just from. Sorry, I was going to say a question from Angie King. She wants to talk about sending messages.
Yeah.
Hi Angus, thanks for this session. Hiya. It's been really good. My question is I want to target, let's say, car manufacturers, and I want to get to the top of the chain. Is it feasible for me to send them a private message if I found them on LinkedIn, or is that a no-no?
Well, if you've actually connected with them, you can send them a private message. I don't subscribe to the in-mail thing. So once I've connected to them, I've already done some personalization. So I would send a postcard. I actually send postcards to my people. And again, you know, you can't see that. And again, they're very, very simple postcards. And once I've connected, if I've got their postal address from their business card, I will send a postcard. Thank you very much, Angie, for connecting. Then when it comes to messaging, I would always include a kind of a video message. So I'd go in and I'd record a video and say, hi, Angie, we've been connecting for a while. I wonder if you can help me. And that human thing of saying, I wonder if you can help me, just opens the door straight away, because you're being honest. You're being honest and open. And 9 times out of 10, people respond and say, well, actually, no, I can't help you, but thank you very much. I love the video. If nothing else, the video sells it. And so does an audio message as a follow-up as well. So for me, to cut the kiss chase down, I send postcards, videos, and audio messages.
Okay, great. Thank you for that.
Okay.
Next one, we've got Rachel Ford. Wants to ask questions about accepting friends' requests.
Hello, Rachel.
Hi. Hello, Angus. Great session. Thank you very much. So just a quick one. I get a lot of friend requests from people that do exactly the same as I do. So should I accept those or should I ignore them?
I do a mixture. I've got a competitor who keeps coming in on another profile. I know it's him because I can tell by the structure of his profile. So I always ignore it. I'm quite open to having my competitors look at what I do because I'm in a category of one. I'm a LinkedIn unlocker. I don't care. And basically, if I'm really worried, as I said here with Alex or with anybody, I would then reply to that person and say, hi, Christine, can I just ask you, yes, I am a marketing enthusiast, but what do you want, love? I wouldn't say it like that, but you know what I mean? I'd kind of, you know, say, look, I'd love to connect with you, but, you know, I'm not sure what benefit it is to you. So I'd put it back to them.
Brilliant. Thank you.
This question is from Ali King Smith.
Ali.
Says, I'd like some tips on improving my feed. I see the same people's stuff all the time.
Okay, well, you can train LinkedIn to actually send you more stuff by engaging on stuff that you want to actually talk to and with the people that you want to talk to. So go in and do a search marketing around Milton Keynes, for instance. That's probably not the right one to do for you, Annie, but you know, look at the people that you want to be talking to. Go in and do a keyword search here, research, learning, whatever. Look at the content that's being done and start training the algorithm to chuck stuff back at you, because it is So I actually unfollow people as well, you know, because that way around I don't then get to see their content. And the algorithm changes all the time. So if I knew the answer, I would be as gazillionaire, nearly as rich as Mark Orr.
Because I have some really rich connections from a lifetime in the sector, and some of them I just never see their stuff from you at all, and I just get bombarded with the same people.
Well, go into those people's profiles more often and try and tease the algorithm to actually giving you the stuff, or the people that you get bombarded with, just unfollow them.
Yeah.
Don't unconnect with them. If you're already connected, just unfollow them. And that's the joy of doing the audit, because if you do, like, I've got sub-files within my search here of all the people that I want to be talking to and not. So I've got folders as well. So I've got market research, Milton Keynes. I've got all of that going on.
Isn't there some kind of way of hiding their content, Angus?
Well, you can mute them. For instance, I could go into James here. So I could hide this post. I could actually mute James so I don't hear from him in terms of, and you can go into something where you're mentioned and just unmention yourself. So it takes out the link from your particular name, your name. And that way you won't get all the notifications coming into like your inbox here.
Yeah. Thanks, Angus.
Next one's Jonathan Buckle.
Mr. Buckle.
Hi, Angus.
Hello,
Hi,
Jonathan.
everyone. Thanks for hosting the session today. Really informative. This is perhaps the $64 million question, but in your humble opinion, how long do you wait from connection request to suggesting a business synergy and either a call or a meeting?
Well, because I go through a set process, so I connect with you, I'll send you a video either in the connection request, or if you've asked me to connect as a thank you, I would have sent you an audio message as well to say, have you got the postcard? In your case, I haven't got your address. I know I've not sent the postcard. You then respond, we get chatting. You know, again, I don't play kiss chase, so I don't want to be waiting forever, but by the same token, I don't jump in and say, hi, I've just met you, let's go out on holiday together. No.
Sure.
You know, so but if I'm offering you something, so I've got PDFs, lots of short PDFs that I will then send. So again, going back to my profile, stuff that I featured in my featured section, and of course, just when I need the internet, it decides to go away. So in my featured section, I've in the past have had PDFs in there, and what I'll do is I'll just link to that PDF or to that article. I will then link to that article. So I'll just send it to somebody. Hi, Jonathan. I know we've only been connected for just under a week, but I thought this might be of interest to you. And if it's not, it's not. And if you don't respond, then I kind of know that you're not interested.
Sure. Okay,
but again,
so there's some value first.
Yes, some value as well, but also the personalization side of it. You know, include audio, include a video, because it's really important. It's so important. And it breaks down barriers. The amount of people that come back to me and say, wow, that was just fantastic. No, I don't want to buy your stuff. And then when they see articles, they'll come back later and they'll say, yeah, let's have a chat. My inbound is far better than my outbound.
Sure. Helping to build the relationships with the personalization.
GDPR, growing deeper personal relationship, gathering dependable prospects regularly.
That leads. Thank you. That Angus leads to one of the next questions from Karen. She says, when is it needed to start paying for LinkedIn?
Well, I think you need to drive a Vauxhall Vectra properly before you buy a BMW, is what I say. And there's a lot of stuff on here that you know, you can corner just as fast in a Vectra as you can in a BMW if you know what you're doing. And the search tips, the height, you know, the saving stuff, you can find as many people on here as you like. I've got one search hack that opens up the whole of LinkedIn to all 700 million people. And it's one simple string, and it just works a treat. There's no reason to pay for it before. Yes, the premium stuff allows me to look at more people who've looked at my profile. Yes, it gives me more filters on sales navigators, but it's a bit like Microsoft, you know. How many of you use all of the whistles and bells that Microsoft suite has? Most of it's cut, paste, copy, you know, whatever. There's a handful of stuff that we all use, and not all of the whistles and bells. If you know where the bells are hidden on here, then start ringing them.
Okay, Lee Rickler has asked another question. I don't know if he wants to read it, but it's saying on a website it's a bad idea to be all me, me, me. Is it true about my LinkedIn profile?
No, your LinkedIn profile should be client facing, and it should be it should be that why, you know, who you help, and you know what problem you solve, what hot buttons they've got, and what history and how you help, and your utility. It should be them focused. Okay, I read so many that are just saying, I did this, I do this. I don't give a stuff, you know, because they don't understand who I am. Like I said, it's a filter process, and you should be allowing people to be filtered out as much as filtered in.
Another question from Martin Baines about articles versus posts.
I would say posts wins hands down over articles currently. Articles had a brief 15 minutes of fame. They had an Andy Warhol afternoon. I think they might come back. They might come back. Again, there's an argument to say do one every 6 weeks just for SEO. But when you share it, it becomes a post of the article. And then what happens is that it gets diluted straight away.
Thank
I
you.
think that's all the actual questions gone through the chat, unless I've missed anybody, unless anybody wants to raise any questions directly, because I say you can't open your own microphones at the moment.
Yeah, I've got a question.
Well, hang on. We've got Chris Bantock came up first. Go on,
Mr. Bantock.
Hello, Angus. Thank you very much. Brilliant as always. Quick question. I know that LinkedIn penalizes you if you're linking out of LinkedIn, if you're putting a link to something on a website. So what's the best way to get LinkedIn to drive traffic to your website?
Well, again, I mean, I would actually say private messages do that really well. I would also say that the best use of hashtags. So skills become keywords, become hashtags. Okay, so LinkedIn unlocking is a skill. It's become a keyword that I've got peppered throughout my profile. It's become a hashtag. And again, if you then make sure that the link to whatever you're trying to do is in the first comment, not in the direct body, then you stand more chance. Once you've engaged somebody, take them away from the main private screen and get them into the messaging area. And, you know, people are afraid of messaging because they think, oh, God, you know, you're not allowed to DM. There are schools of thought out there where people say, you know, don't send direct messages, don't put a connection request in. Your profile is what drags people, is what people want to read. And don't forget also your headline. When you've got your headline, half of it is truncated. So make sure that the goodness, the juice, is in the front bit, because there's no point. And to me, I hate the word helping. So, you know, helping you across the road in case you wanted to cross the road is of no use to anybody, because when it's truncated, it doesn't say or mean anything. So make sure that the first bit is where the sense is. But again, drive traffic by personal messages. And again, you know, silly things, postcards, audio, they work a treat.
Some more questions coming into chat, but I don't know if anybody wants to raise it themselves. I saw there's one there from Lee Rickler. Profile photos, logo or headshot?
Headshot every time. Photo, headshot every time. Red Riding Hood, eyes and teeth. And if they're not your own teeth, borrow some.
It's actually against LinkedIn rules to use anything other than your headshot.
It is. But again, you know, and I know, Mark, because you're well versed in this.
I've broken so many rules. You mean?
Yeah. I mean, good God, LinkedIn have to invent rules because of what you do, Mark.
Actually, going back to what I wanted to talk about, the articles, because I actually quite like articles.
Yeah.
Because you can pepper them with proper links.
You can.
Those links can be contextual based links as well, with the words in them, and you can do quite a bit of editing on them. So I was surprised that you didn't like them. The other thing I think as well with posts that people don't make enough of is, I don't know how long ago it was, 6 months or a year back, LinkedIn added the ability to attach a file to a post, so like a multi-page PDF or whatever.
Absolutely.
With page turning software, and I found those to be incredibly reactive. I have one actually about LinkedIn which got 5,000 views. Yeah. And again, what used to happen with the articles was that you could
as I'm showing you here, you could go in and you could highlight a whole section, okay, and then what that would do is it would allow you to then share that, and then the link to the article would automatically be in there. What I do is I sometimes go in, I take a little thing like that, boom, I then copy it, and then I then go the painstaking route of adding the link in afterwards. But again, I think on a mobile, I think if you do that on a mobile and go to an article and then you highlight a line, and then it will give you the option to share that. I'm sure on a mobile that is still happening. Any other questions?
Yeah, Richard Perry's just popped in saying he's got a question.
Mr. Perry.
Hey Angus, how you doing? Hello everybody. Can you hear me?
I can.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Yeah, you just talked about your little postcards, which are obviously a brilliant idea, but I'm just thinking at the moment, I don't imagine people are giving out their home addresses, or maybe they are. So are you using it? Are you still doing that, or how are you doing it, or are you setting up and using an electronic version?
No, I'm not using anything electronic. I believe in Diana, okay, digital and analog combined. And you know, I use the digital format to find their address. If I was sending something to you, Richard, I'd look at your website. 9 times out of 10, your address is going to be on there. If it's a PO box, then I'll do a bit more digging, maybe on Company's House if you're a limited company, and I'll find the address. I will look on your actual LinkedIn profile, and sometimes it is on there as well. If I go to your profile, you will have your address written down there. So I just take that and I just put it I just write a postcard.
Yeah. No, that's great. I think at the moment, I suppose people are at home, but I was thinking of touch notes where you can still.
Yeah, you can still do that, and I'm not saying that that's not a valid route. I prefer handwritten stuff because I think it gets far more impact. Again, GDPR, growing deeper personal relationships. This is about bonding and drawing people to you. And if I get a handwritten postcard through the post, I love it.
It's great.
I know I've sent it to myself, but I still love it. I don't.
Yeah, that's brilliant. Thanks, Angus.
Anything else?
Lee Rickler,
David,
got something else?
I've got another one. It's just me, isn't it?
Yeah.
Here's a sneaky little tip for you. So you've written a blog post. You want to share it on LinkedIn. That's great and everything. But as soon as you put the URL in LinkedIn, it pulls in some ugly image. I'm going to post a link in the chat. But if you go to the post inspector first, you can see what image it's bringing up. And then obviously if it's not a very good one, you can go back to the post on your website and change to the image that it's pulled in.
That's why you're so good at this.
It's my job. But yeah, so if you check that, check your post first in the post inspector, you can see what the main image is that's pulled in. I just went to post something on my profile and it was actually the wrong image. And this is a post that's been around for a good few years, so I'd forgotten all about it. But yeah, totally. I try that every time, and also every time you post something on your website, just go to the post inspector anyway, just in case somebody else wants to share that post.
Okay. Yeah, brilliant. And one tip I picked up from Mark Orr yesterday is that on the chat, if you click on those 3 buttons, you can save the chat. That chat will be downloaded. And again, the whole point of what I'm trying to do is that, you know, even in lockdown, you can still do stuff. You know, I was talking to Colin Finch earlier, and he said, you know, doing a Mexican wave in a, you know, sort of telephone box is what it feels like at the moment, all being locked down. We can't kind of contact people or you know, anything else. But social distances doesn't mean that we can't be socially connected, you know. So there's lots of ways of doing it, and hopefully the next 3 years will pass really quickly.
Angus, I think the question seems to have slowed right down.
Okay, well,
and
just
I guess
thank you.
You've not gone for an hour, so I guess
I know. I've just looked at my
close.
watch. Yeah, thank you so much, everybody. And if anybody wants to either connect with me directly, please go to, and if we're not already connected, please go to that QR code, open up your phone, open up the messaging, and just put the scanner bit of those 4 dots over there. Hello, Gerald. I haven't forgotten you. I'm going to reply to you later.
That's all right, Angus.
Okay, so I hope everybody enjoyed that, and I hope that you got some value from it. Because again, my last thing is LinkedIn is about, amplifying your value, not broadcasting your benefits. So it's how you help and how you can make sure that everybody benefits, especially now in this Corona time. We should be helping, not selling. But if anyone wants to buy a LinkedIn surgery, anyway, take care, be safe. I can now put this shirt back in the wardrobe because I haven't worn it for weeks, so it's still ironed. So until the next one.
Don't show us what you're wearing below.
No, don't worry. I found my trousers, Lee. Okay, so
right.
I guess that's bye-bye.
Thank you very much, people.
Okay.
We'll start taking you offline.
Thank you very much. That was really good. Thank you.
Take care, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Everybody.
Cheerio. Be safe.